White House correspondent Kellie Meyer is live, keeping tabs on the president's movements today. So, Kellie, one of the first items on our president's G7 agenda was a sit-down with Canada's prime minister.
Yeah, that's right. And that was interesting, too, because of the calls from President Donald Trump for Canada to become the 51st state. So it comes on the heels of that as well. That was his first meeting, face-to-face meeting of this G7 summit. But the White House press secretary also says that he's meeting with Germany's chancellor as well as UK's prime minister, as well as several other meetings. A lot of people want to get FaceTime with President Trump. You see him there at the G7 summit on the foothills, in the foothills of the Canadian Rockies. But the focus really for this group is on what's happening overseas right now between Israel and Iran. Here's a list of the leaders that are at this summit. You see President Trump, of course, there, Mark Carney, Canada's Prime Minister, Emmanuel Macron from France, Germany's Chancellor, Italy's Prime Minister, Japan, and the United Kingdom, all there. They're all focused on de-escalating the situation between Israel and Iran. They're working on putting together a statement, but it's interesting, President Trump isn't yet signing on to that statement. I got this quote from a White House official that I want to read to you here, saying that, quote, under the strong leadership of President Trump, the United States is back to leading the effort to restore peace around the world. President Trump will continue to work towards ensuring Iran cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. That, of course, is the focus for President Trump here with those nuclear talks still ongoing, though Iran stepped away from the sixth round that was planned for Sunday in Oman. He's also set to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as Russia and the Ukraine war is somewhat taking a backseat to the focus on Israel and Iran, but very much a focus for Zelensky as he's going to be going there to ask President Trump if he could purchase more weapons from the U.S. But it comes as just this morning, President Trump was saying that it was a mistake to kick Russia out of the G7, which was then formerly the G8. Russia was kicked out of the group after annexing Crimea in 2014. Nichole.
So, Kellie, we're also expecting trade talks, these tariffs, to come up at the summit.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of these leaders, as I mentioned, wanting to get FaceTime with President Trump for various reasons, but for many of them, it's to talk trade and to really persuade him to not put on these tariffs. Right now, they're on a pause until July 9th, but then they'll kick back into gear. Obviously, it goes through the EU, the European Commission, but a lot of these leaders want to talk to the president to take off these tariffs. You see him there meeting with Carney, Canada. That's a focus for them there. I wanted to play a bit of what the president had to say in this photo op this morning. Take a listen to this.
I'm a tariff person. I've always been a tariff. It's simple, it's easy, it's precise, and it just goes very quickly. And I think Mark has a more complex idea, but also very good. So we're going to look at both, and we're going to see what we're going to come out with something, hopefully.
So you heard the president there. He's hopeful that he could reach an agreement with Canada. We know that they already have a framework. The U.S. has a framework deal with the United Kingdom. We also know that just last week with China, they were able to reach this trade truce as that continues to be worked out. So we're waiting to see if any deals are also announced at this G7 summit as well. Nichole.
All right, Kellie Meyer live there in D.C. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.